One person is in custody after police say they fired shots at 4 different locations around Hardin County, injuring one person. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at 6:30. I'm Alex Dieterer. Now, according to the sheriff's office, the shootings happened on Braxton Court, Skyline Drive, Park Avenue, and Wood Creek Drive. Police say one person was hit by the shots, but they are expected to survive. The sheriff's office says one person is in custody in connection with the shooting. And we're learning more information about the deadly shooting outside a DMV in Valley Station. The coroner has now identified the 3 people killed. Both 29-year-old woman Reza Pacios Valdez and 33-year-old woman Antoinette Chillers died at the hospital from gunshot wounds. And an 18-year-old young man named Leslie M. Harbin Jr. died at the scene after being shot several times. Eyewitnesses described the scene to us.
2 masked men came from around the corner and then walked up to the guy that was laying on the ground and shot him in the stomach and the chest probably about 7 times. And then the taller of the 2 men shot him in the head at least 2 to 3 more times. And then they ran off.
We sent Metro Police the information from the eyewitness, and they emailed us back saying, quote, "It would be very premature to speculate what you may be hearing or seeing on social media and by those who may have been nearby. We would encourage anyone that was near the scene this afternoon to reach out to our tip line," end quote. Anyone with information can contact the anonymous tip line using 574 LMPD. In Nelson County, one person was killed and another was injured in a hit and run. Kentucky State Police say the crash happened around 11 last night on the Bluegrass Parkway. 20-year-old Nelson Pacheco was changing a tire in the emergency lane, and 20-year-old Amory Mays Clark was standing near the car. Police say a Jeep crossed over the fog line and hit both Mays Clark and Pacheco. Mays Clark was pronounced dead at the scene, and Pacheco was taken to the hospital where he is expected to survive. Several hours later, troopers say 48-year-old Jason Hamilton turned himself into police as the driver of the Jeep. Hamilton has been charged with multiple charges, and that includes vehicular homicide while under the influence of alcohol. And in Louisville, LMPD is investigating a deadly hit and run that happened this morning in the California neighborhood. Police say a woman was hit and killed just after 4 a.m. near the intersection of 20th and Broadway Streets. That's just a few blocks from Alberta O. Jones Park. Police say the woman was not in the crosswalk when she was hit, and the driver of the vehicle did not stop to check on her and left the scene. LMPD is asking anyone with information to contact the anonymous tip line. Again, that number is 574 LMPD. This week, the U.S. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy announced he intends to step down after 5 years in charge. The announcement comes as the Postal Service faces a massive backlog of mail that has been delaying deliveries. In a Monday letter, Postmaster General DeJoy asked the Postal Service Board of Governors to begin looking for his successor. Louisville Representative Morgan McGarvey has been turning up the pressure on the Postal Service in recent weeks over the delayed mail. Today, he told us he would keep that pressure on, no matter who's in charge.
We're going to push whoever is in charge of the post office to make sure that Louisvillians are getting their mail. What we know from working with the post office in Washington, D.C. is that they are starting to hear and see some of the legitimate concerns we have. So we're not just asking for answers, we're asking for them to solve the problem, to get more staff here on the ground, to make sure the equipment's working, to give our letter carriers what they need to get us our mail.
DeJoy took over the Postal Service in the summer of 2020. He was a Republican donor who owned a logistics business before taking office and was the first Postmaster General in nearly 2 decades who was not a career postal employee. The race for Mitch McConnell's Senate seat is already heating up. On the Democratic side, House Minority Leader Pamela Stephenson has already announced she intends to run for the seat. Meanwhile, Republican Daniel Cameron has already officially announced a bid. However, he is expected to be challenged by several others. And the big question on everyone's mind is how much will President Donald Trump influence who takes the seat? McConnell has been a critic of President Donald Trump, yet his influence in Kentucky politics is already felt with several state bills filed in Frankfurt that are similar to the president's executive actions or even mentioning the president.
Mitch McConnell's decision to step down really puts a final punctuation mark on the Reagan-Bush era Republican Party. That Republican Party is mostly gone.
As for who is not running for the seat, Governor Andy Beshear once again emphasized he has no interest in the Senate seat. And former Kentucky Senate leader Damon Thayer is also out, saying in a statement posted to social media, quote, "There are several candidates who appear to be interested in seeking the seat, but I will not be among them. One of them is head and shoulders better than the others, and I will endorse him at the appropriate time." And we invite you to watch our WHAS 11 news special report on the fast-moving events since McConnell's announcement. It's brand new and we just posted it tonight on the free WHAS 11 Plus app. Our Doug Profit and senior reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez talk about the race for the Senate, who could be the early front-runner, and a balanced look at Mitch McConnell's Louisville legacy. It's right now on the free WHAS 11 Plus app. Well, tonight is a night of awards. The third annual Reverend Dr. Charles Elliott Jr. Peace Awards is happening right now, and over 20 leaders are being recognized tonight in honor of Reverend Elliott, who spent over 60 years of his life in civil rights and justice work. WHAS 11's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester are there live right now. And Clarice, who are some of the 23 grassroots community leaders being honored tonight?
Well, Alex, they're calling them the unsung movers of the community, all gathering at the Galt House here, actually lining up to get their food now, but they're from all areas of the community, from working in the churches and in government, like in Jefferson County Clerk is being honored. LMPD's Chief Paul Humphrey is also being honored tonight, and more. They're all celebrating again in the light of Reverend Dr. Charles Elliott Jr. He's dedicated decades to service and civil rights, and even has worked and walked alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. One of the awardees told me this is a chance to gather in unity together in what can sometimes seem like a divided world. So everyone is again celebrating in music and in ceremony, getting their food now to celebrate to those wonderful people who've brought great things to the community. Live in the Galt House, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 on your side.
All right, thank you, Clarice. And we'll have more of the awards tonight on the night team. The Molo Village African American Gala is also being held tonight at the Muhammad Ali Center to recognize other community leaders. And that event starts shortly at about 7 p.m.